Okay, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to my channel. For those new, ensure you subscribe to get updates on our latest videos. We are aimed at training more graphics designers via content online. So today we are looking at creating this flyer from scratch, from the first scratch. This flyer was created by me. So I want to show you the process how to go about creating this data analysis flyer. So to start with, we'll open up a new Canva, then delete the text in the Canva. Now the first thing you have to do is to set up the size of your Canva. If you notice that flyer is not a square, it's not square, it's rectangular. So you set up the size of your Canva size. Now the size that was used, the dimensions of that flyer is in 4x5. So you would input the value 1000 by 1250 to get a 4x5. Now different ways to get 4x5, but now I would add a 0 to each of them. The reason why I added 0 is to increase the resolution. Now the higher the resolution, the sharper the image. So the 0 would increase the resolution. So now I now have the exact size I want to use for my Canva. Exact Canva size I'll be using for design. Now is to work on the background. The first thing I want to do is to change the color of this Canva from black to white. And here it is. Okay, after that, I would import my design. No, I want to create that design, so I would have to import that design into my Canva to start with. So I am importing the design right now. Whenever you want to create a design, ensure you import the design. It's very important. So this is the design. Now you size it to size 100%. Then ensure it's well positioned. Now you can lock that design. Now the first thing I want to do is to create this box, this shape here. I want to input the shape. Now this shape is a thumbnail effect I got from Pinterest, so I would import it in. Okay, this is it. So it's too big. So work with this. Okay, let me just shift it a bit. Work with this. Okay, this should save. I'll lock this. Duplicate the layer. Now the first layer, that's this. I would change the color to the exact color in the background, and to do that I would enable this color to. After enabling the color tool, I will go to gradient because the color there is a gradient. Now this is the color I'll be using. Let me show you the hex code just in case of you want to use the exact same color for a project. You click on this, the darker side of the color. You click on this. Now this is hex code for the dark shade of the color. You have 0052BA. If you input this color would come up. Then this is for the lighter part, the purple, this shade of the color. You click on the color. Click on this 727EF6. Once you input this hex code, you will be able to get this gradient. So these are gradients we're working with. So for this second one, now I would increase the size slightly to be bigger, to be larger than the first one. Now this second one will serve as the yellow background underneath the first one. So I will now take it, align it properly. One thing about design is alignment, ensure. I'll take it behind and I'll lock it. I'll change the color to yellow. Then from now I'll hide this layer so that I'll be able to see the effect I'm having there. I will reduce the opacity to 70. And this is what I have now, 70. I'll also reduce the opacity of the blue to 90. So this is what I have. Okay, so I've been able to get one part. I'll go back and enable my. The main design I want to create. So I've been able to do this now. The next thing I'll do from here is to create this down. See it down. I'll import a shape. The rectangle, the shape here. Change the color of the shape to the gradient I created earlier. Then I'll turn it a bit. Now to ensure that it's same as this other one, you use this rotation tool to rotate it. Okay, I think this should save. Yeah, this should save. So I now have this. The next thing is to add. Okay, the other one, I'll duplicate this and I'll rotate it the other way around. I'll take it behind the first one. Lock this one, take it behind the first one. Change the color to the yellow. See the yellow behind. See now. So this was how I got this. But if you notice it's not properly aligned, so I'll have to rotate it a bit now to get the alignment, the exact alignment. Okay, this should save, yeah. So this should save. So I now have something like this. Let me see, I think I have to rotate it by 1 degree. 1 degree should save, yeah. So this is it. Now take it upward a bit. Now what I would do now to differentiate the blue from, like to create a white stroke between the blue and the yellow, is to add I want to take this up a bit, the blue up a bit. Is to add a stroke to the blue. To do that, I'll click on this, the blue layer. I'll go to my stroke, enable stroke, turn the stroke to white. See the stroke? The stroke is this thing here, so I'll make it white. And let's say I'll add 7 or 8 to it, and that way automatically I have this. click OK. The next thing I'll do is to import the image, this image, into my design. So import the image. I have this image here, so I'll just look for it and import it into the design. Okay, so this is the image. It's too big. That's what this should save. So now this is how my image is appearing. What I'll do, I'll take this behind this shape and I'll lock it. See, now automatically you now have the image cut. Now this part of the image is too sharp, so I want to feed it a bit so that it will not be too sharp. What I'll do, I'll click on my draw tool, change the color to white. Since I'm working with a white background, change the color to white, then increase the pen size to 80, then I'll increase the blur radius. I'll just spin something. Okay, now after opening, I'll now expand it and place it here. Now this is one way to blend images to background, especially when the background is a solid color. Okay, so this is it. So I'll now take both behind this shape. Automatically you have this. So now we'll now work on our background. The background is the major thing in this image, so I will import the background I'll be working with. You can get all these resources from Pinterest. I will be working with this background, this image in our background. So first of all, I'll scale the image to size. Yeah, I'll scale the image to size. Now this is a man carrying out data analysis. So I'll just scale it to size and I'll lock it, take it behind everything. You know your background has to be behind. Now the next thing is to create a feeding gradient. So I would click on my shape. This is my shape too. Now I would now go to my gradient, add this feeding gradient. Now this is how to create this feeding gradient. For this one, let's say I want to start from the beginning now. See, this is the gradient I have, up and down gradient. Okay, let me just see. This is how to create a feeding gradient. You have all white or a gradient of. Okay, let me just cancel this. Let's use this. So you want to create a feeding gradient, a white feeding gradient. This is what you do. Click on the plus. Click on this first one. Now this dark side is here. You get is here. While the light side is on top. You get the dark side. So you want your gradient to feed from top to down. The fading should be more here down here. So what I will do is I will convert this to white. Make it white. Make it white. Now this is how to make it white. Just take this to this extreme, take this to this extreme, and okay, it automatically you have it white. Then I would make this white too. Make this white, but I'll make it transparent. Then I would now click on this and click on the plus icon. Automatically to add on another color. Okay, so I will take this closer because I want the gradient, the white to be more than the fading effect. Now the reason I added this was to ensure that the fading effect is not so sharp, blunt. So I have my fading effect here. Okay, I would extend it. So this is it, and I feel it's not straight. So let me see. So it's not straight. If it's not straight, it will affect the outcome. Let me see if I can just straighten it up a bit. Okay, so this should save. It's not so straight. Let me use this. For this now, I'll take out this. Make this white. Second layer. And take this white. Now I want to ensure that this is straight, because if it's not straight, if this line is not straight, it will be somehow. So take it to the middle so I'll be able to see. So this is it. You extend it to create your background. And ensure that the background is not showing too much. That will not interfere with your design. So this should save. So you now have the blending effect in your background. You lock it. So we have our background and we have our sheet. The next thing is to import, is to write our text. Data analysis. The main text in the design is data analysis. Okay. So write this. Increase the size, the color, the same gradient. Then the font. The name of the font I used is Gaming Sporty. Yeah, that's the font. Gaming Sporty. So data analysis. You place it here. You ensure that it's aligned to the right. You just place it there. Now you copy this font to duplicate the font. Now you ensure that it's also aligned. Take it behind the first one. Block the first one. Then change the color of the second one to yellow. That way you have that text effect. Take it. Okay. See, now you have that text effect that way. This is how to create that text effect. So you lock both layers. The next thing we'll do here is to bring in our pie chart. Pie chart, I downloaded it on Pinterest, so you could check it out on Pinterest. I removed the background using this, so this is it. So I'll bring in the pie chart. Take out the parts you don't. Okay, so our pie chart is here. Reduce the size. Okay, so here you go, the pie chart is ready. Now there are lines in the pie chart. I want to clean them. I'll just go to my eraser tool and I will erase some of the content of the pie chart. These lines, I want to erase the lines totally, but the dots should still be there to create a particular effect. So that is what I just did now. So this is the outcome. So this is okay. This is okay. The next thing is to lock this. Input the clip to make this realistic. This clip. Let me take this top. The clip here to make it realistic. So I'll go to my import. I have that clip here, so I'll just bring it in. The next thing I'll ensure I resize the clip to fit and design it. I'll turn it such that it would look realistic, because the goal of everything is to ensure that it's realistic. You get, if it's not looking realistic, then the design is somehow. So I think they should work. But you could still adjust the only bit to ensure that it looks realistic. At some point you could erase some parts too to ensure that it looks realistic. Now for the text, you import a box. Yellow box. You duplicate it. Just bring this down here. It will be easier this way. So these are your boxes. What I do is this: when I want to import multiple boxes, I'll just duplicate. I'll duplicate one. But instead, before I duplicate, I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in to that area, so that when I duplicate, it should be around this area. That way, it will be easier to ensure that everything are well placed. So I'll bring it down. The placement has to be perfect. You copy again. I think there are 4 boxes in the main design. I'll bring it in. I've been able to bring in all the boxes. I'll now zoom out. I'll lock each of the box. So you see now we've gotten to that part. The next thing is to input those small charts, the pie charts, the smaller ones. Still in this image, what I'll do. Okay, so I duplicated it. I'll copy it to the part where I want to use, which is the charts on that. This is the part I'm interested in. So, okay, so I'll have this. Some parts I'll clean up. I will now go back to my eraser tool and do what I did initially to get the parts that were cleaned up. Reduce the size and place it here. So automatically you have this smaller charts here, and this to give the analytical vibes, to add in an effect to it, the analytical effect to it. Then next I will take the boxes, these 4 boxes, upward a bit, since okay, so there you go, being able to do this. The next thing is to bring in the calendar. Okay, let me add a lane fonts. How to look for the fonts. One thing in design is to use fonts that are complementary, so ensure you use complementary fonts. Now there is a font I used. I'm looking for it. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. And this is it. It may not be it, but this font is nice. I'll just reduce it a bit. It's not the exact font, but let's just leave it for the time being. I'll duplicate and I'll bring it behind. Now the point of duplicating is to make one yellow to give it that effect. You get the effect that we used of the design. So I duplicate it and I bring it back. Then for the other text, I will copy them Oh, let me just click this other part of the design, then I'll go back to the other text, the main text in the body. This part here, contact us, for the contact us, and this is even too big, so this is what we have here. So the font text there is contact us, so I'll just type contact us, contact us. Font is Poppins, regular. Okay, reduce the size to fit into this box perfectly. Look it. Change the color of the font to this blue. That way it will stand out and it will clean. Now the next thing is to add the call. This is the call to action part. I'll change the font to white so that it will be able to, the contrast will be obvious, white. Now I'll type in VN, then I'll type in number, plus 2, 3, 4, 8, 1, 8, 1. So let's just use this as the number. Next I'll increase the size. Then I'll change the font type to Poppins bold, Poppins semi bold. Then this is what I'll do. I'll highlight the VN, then click on search for fonts. I have this specific font that can change text to icons, so this is it. I have this now. What I'll do, I'll change the color of my icons to yellow. That way I'll be able to create contrast contrast between the. So you have this now. The next thing is to, I'll duplicate this. Now write the hashtag, social media hashtag, the data analyst. Okay, I'll go back to my fonts. You're working with fonts basically, so I'll choose 4 things. No, one of the rules of design is to maintain fonts, so ensure you maintain fonts. Don't use too many fonts, but use regular. Take it to the right a bit. So here you go. I have the call to action buttons here on display, so I'll block them. The next thing is to write the fonts. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I would not go to the stress of typing everything down. I'll just write, let's say 1 or 2, change the color to white. I'll just type. Let me go to my clipboard and see what's here. Okay, let's see this now. It should save. Reduce the size. Reduce the space between the lines. Reduce the space between the lines. Sorry about the noise in my background. Then copy it. I'll just use this throughout for the sake of this. Copy it. And copy it. I'll reduce the font size a bit. It's too big to me, so this should save by 1. Okay. I'm just using this for the sake of this tutorial, but when you want to make a proper design, you have to use the exact text to have the effect you want. The main design, I had some text I put to it, but for this I just want to use this so that the tutorial would not be too long. So you have this now. You've succeeded. You've been able to come up with this. The next thing is unleash your design. Make it black. Your analytical ability. I'll change these fonts to a different font, just for a particular effect. Let me see if I have the font here. I'll just look for it. Okay, I think the font is real. So this is the font. But use any bold version to have that effect. So to ensure that the size is okay. Now the data analysis, you can increase the size a bit to fit the main design. But for the sake of this, I'm just showing how I came up with it. But I can increase the size to fit the main design. The next thing to do here is to add the date. So I'm just showing you, this is a sample how you can go about creating such flyer. Just to add the date, I would add the icon. I have the icon here. So this is the icon I used. This is here. So this is the icon. I would scale it to size and I'll place it here. Yes, I think here is good enough. This is good enough. Just place it here. Okay. Touch it safe. I'll duplicate it. Still place it there. But this time I'll take it behind the first one. And I would lock the first one. Okay. Now I would move the second one. I will just change the color first of the second one to the blue. Blue. I'll move it be this way. Okay, so here. Oh, you see the effect I'm having here now. Now the first one, this one, now the red one, I would change the color using the color filter tool. This is how you can change the color. Now this is the exact color. I've been able to change the color using the color filter tool. I think the color is okay. This should save. Okay, so now you now have this. The next thing is to write your date. Make it white for contrast. For the purpose of contrast, make it white. Change the font size to poppins regular. Okay, and reduce it a bit. Then place it to fit the date icon. So I'm just doing this in a hurry, just so you see how this can be achieved. And the next is to write your main text. For the main text, I would use this code. I would 17th. Let's use 17th May. 17th May. 17th May. 17th May. Okay. Then I will make it centrally aligned. I will change the font to the same font I was used for the data analysis. The one thing about design, you have to avoid using many fonts. So this is it. So here you go. Scale it to size, and you now have this. You now have this. Okay. Now, the last thing, I think one of the last thing we'll do here now is to finish up the background work. So to do this, you'll see an effect in the background to do this. So this thing is not scaled to size, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm using this. So I would import a background text, a texture from my Pinterest, and I'll use that to finish up the design. Remember, whenever you're working with, when you're creating the design, you have to compare what you're doing with the main design itself. Always do that. That way you'll be guided. But for this, I'm just doing it. So this is the effect I want to use to finish up my design. I'll just increase the size. So this is effect. What I'll do now is I will reduce the opacity. That will now blend with the background. Reduce the opacity to 10. So to 10. So the opacity has been reduced to 10. Now I'll take it behind so that my text will be very visible compared to other things. I'll take it behind. This is how to move icons behind. I'll take it behind. Okay, so there we go. I think we've been able to achieve that effect now. So we're done with our design. This is the outcome of our design. This is a step-by-step guide on how to make such flyer using your Pixellab. So stay tuned. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do well to subscribe to get instant notifications on new videos, as we'll be dropping more educative content soon.